Sonic Hits Now.
Yo, Sonic Nation, look who's stopping by, Chaos! Now, one of the cool things was the record, before it was released, was streamed.
Right.
And you actually did the commentary.
Right.
Like that's the first time I've ever seen an artist doing that. I'm like, that is so cool. So you get you telling the stories of the songs. Did anybody say, what are you doing? That's a totally new thing?
Yeah, I think some people, because, you know, let's keep it real, music is kind of free now, so on the first listen, there were some comments that were like, oh, I just want to hear the record, because that's what people are used to. But I think after they realized, okay, this is just somebody kind of shedding light, and the things said were kind of prolific things about the song, not because I'm so intelligent, but because I wrote it. So I could tell them a simple story that to them was like, wow, I never thought that way. So yeah, I think I think sometimes you gotta tweet about your things. Sometimes you gotta put a status out. It's all part of where everything is at right now. Comment on this, comment on that. And when the artist does it, I think it's some really cool insight for the audience and listener.
Now, I know I did read tweets, people going like, what's Chaos doing? He's talking about the record. Like, right. Dude, we want to hear the record. Did you get any negative feedback with that?
I did, but I was like, you know why? Just buy the record then. We're smart over here. You know, some people might want to listen to it and don't want to hear the commentary, but really like something they like. That you know what I have to do? I have to just go buy a record now. And it's like, okay, buy a record. It's cool. So I think there's nothing really negative. If something turns out negative, it usually has a positive spin right after, and you realize that everything is just the way it is. Not to be too John Lennon right now, but that's the way I feel about it.
Black on Blonde is the record. Check it out now. I know you've been asked this a million times. Just searching the web myself. Don't Google that.
Right.
How did that? I mean, I know you're probably so bored of this question, but
well, I will answer it like this. In life, my dad's a minister. I've never been to a strip club in my life. Just throwing that out there. I've done other things, but I've never been to a strip club. And sometimes it's funny how many friends you say, yo, my album's Black on Blonde, you know, like Dylan's Blonde on Blonde? And they're like, no, dude, that's like a ... I'm like, okay, well, you watch porn. And a lot. So I'm not saying, you know, if someone, you know, it's like, you can't always, people are on different wavelengths, and I wasn't on that wavelength, but maybe I was and I didn't know it. You know what I mean? It's like, there's so many ways it's all multi-dimensional. I'm an artist, don't ask me these questions. I can mean 10 million things and you still won't know what it is.
So it is rock and roll and hip hop. How does the show work now? The Chaos show gonna work?
Well, we're rehearsing it this way. We'll see when the show comes if we really do it, but we're doing 30 minutes of rock and roll off the top, and then doing a hip hop show after. So we're gonna split it, and just to see the reaction. My only fear is that some people be like, I got my rock and roll, you know, but I don't think a fan of my music. I think they like both. We're just gonna try to like separate them in the show, so we can really dig in on it, instead of like, you know, hip hop song, you know, like one for you, two for me. It's like, I always felt that way with rock songs, which is an interesting way to set up a set, but I think this time around we're gonna like split it, and that's gonna be the cool part.
And now with the double album, just out of curiosity, is there any double album in your life that you go back to going, oh, what an awesome record?
So my favorite double album? Smashing Pumpkins, you know, it's a tough one, but I will say Wu-Tang, probably. Wu-Tang Forever is my favorite double album, because I think it's actually the first hip-hop double album in history. Don't quote me on that, but it's one of the only ones. So I remember getting it, like always getting a hip hop record, and all of a sudden you have two. So that kind of blew my mind. I think that there was a lot of knowledge and cool information on that record too.
So you've done a live record, you've done a double record,
yeah.
You've done regular records. What's next?
I don't know, man. I can't even think of that. I just want to tour and kill this. I think next, I like the double album format. Maybe we switch it up with different musics, like, you know, reggae and jazz or something weird. I don't know, it could work, it could keep going, you know? But I really, really want to get my glam metal on and get Sammy Hagar and people. But that's what I really want to do.
Well, you got a lot of people working, I mean, Corey Hart's on this album.
There we go, see, we're going there already. I'm just introducing people to the 80s, so next record I could just, you know, Guns N' Roses, the place down.
How does it work when you like, I want to write with Sammy Hagar? Like,
Corey Hart, I actually got his email off the industry. An industry heavyweight gave me Corey Hart's email, and I emailed him and I said, yo, Corey, Sunday morning is the same key as Sunglasses at Night. I'm performing at the Junos. Can you come out and just do one line in your glasses and disappear? And he was like, you're hilarious. He's like, I actually thought about this, but my daughter has his daughters are crazy tennis players. They had some tournaments. But he just hit me up after, like casually, like, so how's it going? And I was like, is this some kind of Morpheus thing happening now? Where he's like, I was like, no, this was happening in the music industry. Like 2 pages on like, no, don't worry about that. That's just this. I'm like, and so we've just struck up this whole like kind of mentorship. And we all need it, you know, because he was like the first Justin Bieber. At 22, he had like those #1 hits. So the point is that he would just hit me up, and then one day he just pronounced, I think we should do a song together. I'm like, dude, and I worked on it for like months, and he was like, this is garbage. I don't want to do it. It has to be a real song. He just kept hitting me, and then we came up with like a comment, and I think it's one of the most downloaded songs on the record the first week. People, you know, obviously he's got a huge fan base, but I think it's a good collabo because it's a cool song. He gets to be him, I get to be me. And one day I'll get to meet Bree.
We can get Bree out here. Come by to buy the record.
It rhymed. I was freestyling.
Chaos, thanks so much for stopping by, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
I see someone I see before.